Hello again, everyone. I am Jerry Gonzo, and welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 4 of Season 2 of the Global IndyCar Challenge. And today we come to you from Fuji International Speedway at the base of the picturesque volcano in Japan. As always, joining me in the booth for today's race is Ewan O'Leary. Ewan, good to have you here. Welcome to Fuji. One of the most driven-on sim tracks in the entire world, dating back to when Atari came out and Namco came out with pole position. So everyone kind of has been at this track one form or another. But on top of that, today's race, we've had three different winners in three different actually, I should say this is three different winners in three races this season. We've had 6 winners in 6 races going back into last season. So first of all, do we go 7 for 7 and do we go 4 for 4? Do we see another new winner this season, or an either first-time winner, or do we see someone that we haven't seen or someone that we have seen here before get a win today here at a racetrack that we don't come to very often?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, thanks for having me again, by the way. I think it is going to be very unpredictable, to be honest, as far as that is concerned. It's a remarkable record that we've had now for the first half of this season. Whether that's going to be retained or not, it really is up in the air. I think what needs to happen as far as those drivers' standings are concerned, the bottom right of your screen there, Julien and Luis Nunez need to get a little bit closer to Liam O'Sullivan. I know there's still 3 rounds to go, including this one. However, I think if you let that gap get out too far, then you could find it difficult to get the points required in the final couple of races, especially with the unpredictability of an oval coming next time as well. We'll wait and see just who can come out on top, whether it indeed will be a 4th different winner in 4 races.
Check out those rookie standings, very tight. Only 1 point separates the top 2. 7 points separate the top 3. But going back to the points, we have Julien, the defending series champion, just 21 behind his teammate. Liam now 3rd in the points. Luis Nunez not in the lineup tonight. In fact, we have a bit of a smaller lineup than normal. We're going to have a quick qualifying session. Only 1 lap to qualify here. But let's go back to your point on talking about the points. Your point on the points, actually. Let's talk about that. Julien only won 1 race last season, has not put one in the winner's column this year and this season at all. And he won the season championship over Johan Royer, who won 3 times last season. So it just shows that consistency is the key, not necessarily getting to victory lane the most.
Yeah, absolutely. If you notice the results so far from Julien Altena, you'll realise that actually he has been very consistent so far. 3 top 5s in 3 races, 2 podiums within that as well. So, while he hasn't been winning, he has been staying very close by, and that is a marked difference to a lot of the others who've been around. I mean, we've got other guys who've had, podiums and top 5s, like Ahmed Lau, for example, but unfortunately outside the top 10 on one occasion and outside the top 5 on another, but inside the top 10, if you see what I mean. So down in 6th position at the moment, 58 points behind Liam O'Sullivan. Already at this stage in the season, that is too much of a gap, I think, to be able to overhaul, although Lal has looked so far in practice and now in qualifying as well to be very strong around Fuji.
And IndyCars at Fuji, you might be saying that's never happened before, has it? Well, yes, it has. IndyCar has visited Fuji International Speedway only 1 time back in 1966. For then, at the time, a star-studded 80-lap exhibition race. It was the 2nd ever IndyCar race on a road course, albeit for no points, under the USAC Champ Car banner. And on either, I don't know, there's the records from back then are sort of weird. It's either a 2.7 mile or 3.728 mile configuration course. So if somebody in chat knows, shout it out, let me know. But it was that was the configuration. Sir Jackie Stewart won the pole and the race for his only IndyCar victory in 3 career starts. I believe his other 2 starts were at Indianapolis. He led 59 laps. Uncle Bobby finished 2nd, and Graham Hill finished 5th. Today we will be using a 2.78 mile, 14-turn permanent road course configuration. It's a no chicane after the Dunlap corner. Sites show this distance at 2.812 miles, but according to iRacing, it's 278. So we're just going to go off iRacing and what iRacing says. 65 laps, 180 0.7 iRacing miles, or roughly 290 kilometers. And we're kind of expecting anywhere between a 2-stop. We're not sure if a 1-stop can be pulled off, or a 3-stop. So a 3-stop if you're really out there pushing it, or excuse me, a 3-stop if you're out there really saving it, a 2-stop if you really want to, I just mixed it up, a 2-stopper if you're out there saving, and a 3-stopper if you're really out there pushing. Remember, we do have to do a compound change. We do have the primes, which is the black sidewall tires, and the alternate tires, which are the red sidewall tires, and at one point we will have to switch to those during the race. Depending on whatever you start on, you have to go to the opposite on one of your stops. So there you see the schedule on your screen. Fuji, then Improper Phoenix Raceway. I call it Improper Phoenix Raceway because I hate what NASCAR has done to the place now. And Interlagos to wrap up the season, an appropriate place for round 6 of the championship. We are done with qualifying, I believe. And we're going to wait a little bit before we progress the session here. So we'll get some scenic shots here of the countryside of Japan. But Ewan, tell me about kind of what you think today's strategy might be. Do you think everyone's going to go with the 3-stopper, or you might see somebody out there gamble on the 2?
Yeah, based on the information that we've seen so far, I think 2 is probably going to be the overall best strategy. Certainly, Julien Altena says it's the fastest, so I'm happy to go along with that. It really depends whether you want to sort of go absolutely all out or not. If you are doing a 2-stop strategy, then you look at that sync length there, around 22 laps. You'll be able to do a 121 lap run over the course of the day. But it may be more complicated than that because you must use both tyre compounds, and you must start on the qualifying compound as well that we've already seen those drivers out there on. So that does complicate things just a little bit. It really depends how both tires, how both sets of tires react there, the primaries or the alternates. If there is a really good race tire, we talk about obviously qualifying tires for fastest to be the alternates, but a good race tire, if that is the alternates and maybe it is pretty quick over the course of say 16 laps, then maybe you'll want to use that on 3 occasions and make a 3-stop strategy with one primary stint somewhere in there as well. We'll wait and see. I mean, as I say, I think it will be a 22 lap stints for 3 of them, and that will get you to the end quite comfortably with the 2-stop strategy that Julien says is fastest.
Yeah, 2-stop is 21, 22 laps, somewhere in there. 3-stop, 16, 17 laps. I don't think anyone can get to a 1-stop, not with the very long straightaway we have here. Let's get today's starting lineup real quick before we get there. Weather conditions today, 65 degrees ambient, 73 on the track temperature. Not going to be a factor, but it is overcast today on the racetrack. Your starting grid here from Fuji Speedway. Amon Law up on the pole here with a time of 1:19.5. Right next to him is Roden F. At Roden, starting on the front row for the 3rd consecutive race, Liam O'Sullivan and Julien Altena. Again, Altena Autosports locking out the first 2 rows. There is your 2nd row with O'Sullivan and Altena, your championship contenders now coming into the second half of the season. Then we got Vogelsang and Zilvazi on row 3. Watts Zilvazi, he's pretty good on road courses. He has a good starting spot right there in 6th. Then we got 44 Nation and Gardner's, 44 and 77. Double numbers all on row 4. Pim Van Gastel and Yatski on row 5. We're moving on back to row 6. We got Sissek and Deck on row 6. Row 7, Rise and Clegg. Then we got row 9, Charpentier, and Presley, or Pressy. And row 9 is Langbein and Fiolis. Watch out for Clegg. We watched him do very well in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship at Mexico City. And he surprised a lot of us by getting his first win there in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship series there. And I expect him to come from deep in the field here and be contending. So we'll be watching him as he comes from deep in the field from his 14th starting spot. But we're going to get the short of the pace laps here as the field is moving through turns 11, 12, 13, and 14 before heading down on the main straightaway. One of the longest main straightaways in all of racing, period, not just IndyCar racing, but just racing in general. You don't see very many straightaways that length, and so it's going to give them plenty of opportunities to deploy that push to pass and also deploy the hybrid and recharge the hybrid while in the draft. Possibly be able to use the hybrid twice on the main straightaway. We shall see. Coming off the final corner, getting ready to go green for, we got 65 laps here today, 200, just shy of 200 racing miles here at Fuji Speedway. Very tight configuration for the drivers, 2 by 2 by 2. Pace car will pull off, and look just how long this straightaway is, how long they have to maintain this formation before they can finally get on the gas. Patient, waiting. Here we go. Who's going to be on it first? And again, long run. Everyone getting antsy. And there we go, a long run, but here we go. Going to go 2 wide for second, but FT is going to take off, and he's going to be your leader going into 1. Here they come to the outside. All the Altena Auto Sports cars 3 wide. Here we go, 3 wide into 1.
Oh, very close between the 3 of them in towards the first corner, but out the other side, Ahmad Lau should just about hold on to pole, and indeed the lead after pole position in front of Liam O'Sullivan, and then Efting and Skilvazi tightened towards turn 1. Amazing that they all managed to get through.
Yeah, it looked like FT got a pretty good start as Julien taking a dive to the inside and taking a stab at Patrick there, but FT led going into turn 1, but I think he maybe possibly got spooked when 2 cars came in underneath him, went 3 right into the turn, and kind of wisely backed out of it and to save that battle for another lap. He is on, everybody up front is on the red tires, so now's the time to attack.
Oh dear, and wide there, somebody going wide there through the 10th corner, the Dunlop corner, which is does not contain the chicane anymore, and coming to a stop, it's Fraser Clegg in the 57, who has for some reason come to a stop and is now getting back going again. Not entirely sure either what happened to Toby Deck, who is quite a long way off the back of the field.
I wonder maybe Fraser cut the course and he had to come to a stop, or he's actually now stopping on the course, and maybe he has a mechanical, not sure, so he might be towing out, but he is currently back at around turn 14 and is currently not moving at all. Up front, though, and we watch a little bit further back, here's Silvazzi and Liam O'Sullivan as they are now coming downhill. Must have been a mechanical for Fraser, as he is now towed to the pits. So it is Law, F-Tink, Silvazzi, your top 3 in the early stages here of this 65-lap race here at Fuji International Speedway. Again, one of the most driven on sim courses in the world. A little bit further back, side by side, Julien Altena and Milan Vogelzang, and that is now straightened out as they are now moving through this portion of the race course here.
Yes, so it's the one disadvantage of this racetrack, really. I do prefer it overall, but it does take away an overtaking chance in towards turn 10, which on the other layout is a really tight hairpin that I think Julien Altena could have used there if indeed this was the other layout to get past. He was on the push to pass and he looked like he wanted to go through, but he couldn't do it. He might well just delay that move now towards turn number 1 on this lap.
He is on the button, pushing that push to pass. F-Tink goes purple that time by. Vogelzang defends to the inside, kind of throws a little bit of a fade on Julien. Julien's going to take it to the outside now, side by side off the corner. Here we go as they make a run down into turn 3 and this very fast kick coming up to turn 4.
Yeah, I think that was half defence from Vogelzang, half attacking Liam O'Sullivan, who wasn't using any push to pass and was a bit of a sitting duck there on the front straight. Luckily for him, he was far enough in front. Here goes Altena. Whoa, he really got on the grass there and went off. But down the inside he goes, in towards turn 6.
Is that momentum to pull alongside, but unfortunately, it didn't get him in the preferred position to pull the pass off. Now he takes a stab to the inside, fades back in, back underneath the attenuator of Milan, and he now takes a shot in that turn 10 area, going into turn 11. Here's the, it's a, whoa, almost banging wheels there, oh ho ho!
It's a good final sector for racing, I think, very underrated in my opinion, but down the inside into the final corner, Altena's going to get through, but Vogelzang is not going to be finished. Inside line he'll switch to, and it's going to be a drag race.
Vogelsang got into the rear of Julien, and it was forgiven. His wing was given back to him. So the racing gods being kind to Vogelsang. He's going to go side by side down the front stretch. Julien on the push to pass to Edge out in front of him. Here's Vogelsang. He's going to fade to the inside. Braking zone into one. Side by side one more time, Ewan.
Yeah, it should be Altena's position now. He was slightly quicker in a straight line, but Vogelsang's on the push to pass again. He's on the outside in towards turn 3, and he now will back out. It's not a bad place to go around the outside, actually, if you've got your nose in front like he did there, but he didn't fancy it. And Julien Altena is finally inside the top 5.
You see on the timing tree, all the drivers in the top 11 have chosen, actually qualified on the red tires. And the red tires is what they qualified on, and that's what they have to start the race on. The first drivers that did not start on the red tires are 12th on back. Taking a look at a replay here. Pim van Gastel just a little hot into the braking zone.
Yeah, losing the rear all the way around there. Locked it down. Oh, and there was, I was about to say, everybody avoided because he'd spun just off the racing line, but that wasn't quite true the whole way through. He was clipped on the way past by Charpentier, and both of them have now got meatball flags. No fast repair in this series. They'll have to spend quite a long time repairing that one.
At Pim off a good finish at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago.
It's just very tight through the corner and just runs out wide straight into him, and you can see the front right tyre immediately buckles, and unfortunately that is the end of that. Those two will be down on pit lane potentially for a very long time.
We have a new leader. It's Rode Neptic. He's back to the point. He started off, faded back a little bit. Remember, started on the pole, and then we went 3 wide in the corner 1 on the green flag lap, and he kind of backed out of it. And again, it looked like he was using a little bit of discretion rather than valor there, and regrouped and got around Lal and gets back up into the lead, and he is now your leader. Lal second, Silvazzi third. We'll go back and look for that lead here.
I'll have a look back here and see how it actually happened. Very long way back at the beginning of the front straight, I must say. So it's got to be a big bit of push to pass maybe on the way down towards turn 1. A big slipstream as well. But I think Aaron Lau generally is holding on to the best pace of anyone in this race. But everything able to go through here, and maybe even Lau let him have that. That was a big closing speed towards the end of the straight.
Oh, and on the exit of the corner, a little squirrely there for F-Tink. It's possible he might have got on the radio and said, just let me go. Right now, I mean, Lal might feel better just to stay in the draft train and maybe work on mileage behind F-Tink. So it did look a little planned, but again, nothing wrong with that. Teammates racing at the front. It's not like it was a lunge there on a car that probably wasn't expecting it, but also just in that shot, not too far behind now, Patrick Silvazzi in the picture.
Yep, absolutely is. Again, I think there's a bit of toning back of the speed here early on in this race, but nevertheless, it is interesting that Patrick Silvazzi is now on his way into this group as well. And look at the gap back to those who are contending in the championship, by the way. O'Sullivan and Altena a good couple of seconds behind these guys. This is Brian Fiolas, who started at the back of the pack, one of 5 drivers not to set a qualifying time this afternoon. And we'll see what happened to him through the final sector. It's another spin through turn 14, 15, and I wonder how many times we are going to see that tonight.
Looks like a little bit of contact on the front wing element there. So, and he missed the pit in. So he's going to have to get that fixed, and that's a pretty quick fix in the game in the sim here. About 5 seconds on pit road to put on a new front nose. Paddle for position on the racetrack. Julien Altena to the inside now of Liam O'Sullivan. This is championship points battle implications right there. Has moved Julien now up into 4th. Liam back to 5th, going into turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a little bit strange the way this race is unfolding at the front at the moment, with potentially drivers wanting to fuel save and make this 2-stop strategy work. We heard that the 2-stop was the fastest of the strategies, but we're only sort of 10 laps away from a place of seeing pit stops if we're going to see anybody go on the 3-stop strategy. To be honest, if anybody's going to be on the 3-stop, they would have been well out front by now, I think by more than a second at least. I don't think Efting has pulled out enough of a gap to look like he's going for a 3-stop strategy. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I think that this is generally 2-stop strategies playing out here, and some guys fuel saving to make that more comfortable.
Take your leader by about 4/10 right now. And we got Lal, Savazzi, Altena, O'Sullivan, Vogels, and Gardner. Yachi and Christensen and Sissek. That is your top 10 right now.
Yeah, no huge surprises in there, I wouldn't imagine.
Car in the pits.
Yes, indeed. And that's Julien Altena, is it? Yeah.
That is very, that's kind of what caught me off guard. Is like, wait a minute, that's not right. Is Altena in the pits? And maybe he just wants to get off these red tires very, very quickly. Remember, they qualified on these, so they have at least a lap or two of use on them already. So normally when we would start a race, we would see them go to new reds. They would have about 10 full laps. These have 2 laps on them already. And yeah, exactly, he's going to the black sidewall tire primes right now.
And I mentioned earlier about a race tyre. What's the better race tyre here at this venue? I think we may have our answer already there. The red stripe tyres, no good in the race, really. You want to be on those primaries. Altena out in trouble, though. He's just in behind Toby Deck, who was delayed on lap number 1, pitted at the end of lap number 1 for a very short amount of time, and has been making hay meantime in the clean air. Don't want to be in behind someone really, though, Altena, I don't think, as he tries to get these stone-cold tyres up to temperature.
Yeah, he wants to try to, first of all, safely get those tires up to temperature on a racetrack that's not extraordinarily hot. Neither is the ambient temperature at the moment. And then he wants to try to put some lightning-fast laps down right now. It's going to take a little bit longer with those tires, being that they're not as soft as the red sidewall tires. But he wants to get a move on, try to do a bit of an undercut up after everybody that stopped in front of him. So we're going to see when the window does open for him. But this might open up a possibility where he's kind of committed himself to a 3-stopper Ewan versus maybe someone else that wants to do a 2-stopper.
Yeah, absolutely. That might be the strategy now. So we have a look at those who've used their push-to-pass so far. Ifting using quite a lot. That's almost a third of the push-to-pass used in not even 1/6 of this race, so that's double the rate at which you should be using it. Notable that Aman Lal and Liam O'Sullivan haven't used it at all yet. They're going to be really draining that a little bit later on when they feel they need to push. For some of these drivers, this stage in the race is absolutely not about pushing. It is about conserving until we get later in the race.
Remember, we have 2 types of push to pass. We have the push to pass that we can actually see the use of. That's them going for the button, and that's mainly just a road course feature. And then they have the hybrid push to pass, which at this point we'd have no way of seeing and knowing when a driver is deploying that. But it doesn't last as long as the traditional, where you see on the timing and scoring sheet there with the green P2P. That's when they're actually on the button using the 200 seconds that they're allotted at the start of the race. But when they go to the hybrid, it's more of like a 1.5-second burst. And then they have to recharge. And they could recharge by either pushing a button or pulling a lever or under braking.
Yeah, it adds a new dimension to this, makes it very complicated to be a driver, that's for sure. But it is all adding to the challenge of one of these races. Vogelsang and O'Sullivan continue to run close. O'Sullivan still just not showing his true potential at the moment by the looks of things. He's got a championship advantage to hold on to at the moment, 21 points. Doesn't need to win every race from here by any means. Just needs to stay somewhere near Julien Altena for the remainder of this season.
He could be running his own pace, so anybody watching from home is like, oh no, he's falling back. Well, there's a difference between falling back and then falling back. He's falling back. He might be on his own pace. A lot of other times you watch driving races, you watch races and you have people in the booth. Oh, there's someone that's got to be having a problem. Not necessarily the case. A lot of strategies involved here in IndyCar, and a lot of it involves fuel conservation. And it's very possible that Liam O'Sullivan during testing decided, I have a pace here. That's the pace I'm going to stick with, and that's the best strategy to get the best performance and best possible hopeful finish out of this race to go into the next round as the championship points leader. Lap 11 of 65 The very early window will open up here in about 2 laps. I don't think anyone is going to execute a 4-stopper, but you can execute a 4-stop at right at lap 13 for very 4 even stints at 13. Of course, you could push almost every single lap at that point, but you're making one more extra stop than everybody else. That's kind of not the more preferred one. 3-stop window is going to be opening about 16 or 17. 2-stop window at 21 or 22, somewhere in there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're absolutely not far away from that 3-stop window. I think, you know, it could be more complicated even than that, to be honest. Julien Altena's already been in pit lane, but I can't imagine him making any more than 3 stops here this afternoon. I would imagine it will be 3 stops for him at the end of the day. That does mean he'll have some longer stints than what we've seen from him first time round, but we'll see when they come. Now, are we seeing 2 drivers come in here, or are we seeing some games? Oh, we are. Some games from one of them. Aman Lau carries on, but into the pit lane for Rodin Eftink.
Eftink coming in, and again, another reason why when we saw that pass for the lead, that it seemed pretty easy. It might have been pretty bland. It might have been Law's like, hey man, I'm on a different schedule. I will just open up the inside for you. You just go right on by. And again, now we're seeing as Eftink coming to pit road right at lap 12 of this race.
Yep, so 11 complete, 54 still to go tonight. That means with another 3 stints, he could split that into 18 lap stints from here to the end, and that might be what he decides to do. Julien Altena, easy to forget, already been out there for 4 laps. Eftink is just in front of him by 6 seconds or so. His tyre's not up to temperature yet, so it's going to be less than that. But even so, that just gives you an idea of where those two are in relation to one another in 12th and 13th.
Julien was kind of hoping to be a little bit closer to Eftink by making that stop early. We'll see if he'll be able to dig into that 6-second lead that Eftink left pit road with. Julien now 4 seconds behind. Now watching the battle, that is Liam O'Sullivan watching over his roll bar there as he tries to reel in Milan Vogelzang. Vogelzang has worked his way up 2 spots from where he started. He's currently in second. Savazzi currently second on the racetrack, up 4 spots. Also a little bit further back, Umit Yachi up 4 spots, and also Chris Rice also up 4 spots, and Till Langby up 7 spots. So those are your biggest gainers right now on the racetrack, but continuing to watch battles as they unravel here. There's Chris Rice. Right in front of Chris is Sisek.
Down towards turn 1. Sazek, of course, the rookie points leader at the moment, but only just by a single point. Things stand over Gavin Gardner at the moment. Gardner currently in 5th place, so that rookie championship standings leader would change if the race were to end right here.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. If you enjoy Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Season 2 of the Global IndyCar Challenge Championship, and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future iRacing broadcasts right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Oh, here we go. Rice to the inside of Eli. And he goes to, right there at 14. So they're going to do a drag race down the front straight. Ride's going to tuck back in behind the attenuator of Sasek. And Sasek is going to be punching a big hole in the air. Rise is not on push to pass. He's going to try to suck up in the draft on his own. And right there with him is Langbin. Langbin to the inside. There, almost contacted the braking zone as Rise has to check up. And now Langbin now gets a little squirrely on exit. The winner out of that one is Eli.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, well, he could have been the big loser because Rise was all over the place. And if he'd have hit Sasek, that would have been disastrous, really, for the both of them. But especially for Sasek, Langbin would have got through on both of them. But that was very nearly a big incident in towards turn number 1. Rise it does the honourable thing in the end, actually, to lock it all down and not hit Sasek, but by effectively having his own half spin.
So that is Eli is now in 7th. Langbin in the Meyer Shank livery right behind him is in 8th. Rise back to 9th, and Pressy up 6 spots from the tail end of the field in the 10th right now. Going back to a battle for 3rd. Vogelzang and O'Sullivan. Remember, we're in the middle of a pit cycle. So we're going to see some of these drivers come to pit road here and sacrifice where they've worked their way up onto the grid here. As Liam really gained a lot of space there under braking.
Yeah, he's maybe starting to just feel his way into this race now. As we get towards lap 16, that could be a pit stop window opening, could be just a point at which in this stint he realises he can push on now, even if he is going towards 20 laps perhaps. Let's see what happens for Sullivan here, but I think he is starting to find his feet in this race. Got a good run out of turn 6 and 7 there. Again, not a great overtaking chance at turn 10 on this layout, but he's getting in the mirrors of Vogelzang now, and he'll certainly be noticed by the driver in 3rd ahead.
Always watching the mirrors. And right now, he is, I tell you, Liam is giving Milan a big noseful in his mirrors right now. All he sees is that navy and white nose, trying to find the best way around as they are now coming around lap traffic. Oh, Vogelzang coming to pit road.
Is that... Did he come from the white line there, or was that fine? He locks it down as well as he gets into the pit lane. Just about slows down in time, but he'll be down. Maybe this is the start of a 3-stop strategy from him.
Watch O'Sullivan here bouncing on the curve. Bam, bam. Inside curve again, just grabbing a lot. Oh God! And then he hits the curves, and not only just hit the curves, he hit the sleeping policeman bumps there too. So yeah, just real. And we currently have a long hold for Vogelzang on pit road. I don't know if we have a penalty or something, but sorry to cut off from what I was just talking about. Vogelzang on pit road for a very long hold.
Yeah. I wonder whether this is either an unsafe entry or speeding, because I saw him get quite close to both. Whether that was over the white line on the way in, or whether he was too fast because he locked it up. Let's look at it again here. It's quite tight there through the final corner. He probably did need to come in and get these tyres off. Look at the lap car here trying to get out of the way, and Vogelzang tries to get in pit. Oh, I think he was fine there. What about on the pit lane speeding? Does he get... Oh, it's a slide. He locks it down. That must be it, I suppose. He was very close.
I'm sure... Now, I mean, if you go back and you want to take things back and go, I wish I could do that again. I mean, from a driver's point of view, is it better just to dip to the inside or just maybe get on the radio and tell that driver in front of you, I'm coming to the pits? Because that driver was going to the inside to kind of stay out of the way. He knew he was lap traffic, but that played a role in the way that Vogelzang came to pit road and entered pit road and might have messed up the timing a little bit.
Yeah, I think it probably was worth just saying that he's coming to pit lane here, but by the time you're not expecting that to happen, to be fair, to Vogelzang. So by the time it's actually happening in front of you, there's not too much time to actually react and do anything about it. I think the bigger problem was the slight slide he had and the maybe over-ambition coming in towards the pit lane, braking a little bit too late and speeding on pit lane. You're better off braking 10 metres or so earlier and leaving a tenth or two on the table than you are speeding on the pit lane, because that's the risk versus reward there just doesn't work out. He's lost 40 seconds as a result of trying to gain a tenth or two.
Top 5 have not stopped yet. The first car that has stopped and 5 laps into their stint is Roden F-Tink in P6. We're waiting for the leaders to come to pit road for their first stops. We suspect about any time for those leaders right now. Watching the battle on the racetrack, that is Pressy, but nothing going around them right now. Pressy has moved up. Actually, Pressy's one of the drivers that also has not stopped. F-Tink battling for Chris Rise, but this is another battle between cars that stopped and haven't stopped yet. So that's a lap car. Yeah, Rise will come to pit road here soon, but look at Eftink, though, on the push to pass. He is spamming it like this is Mario Kart.
Yeah, he's really looking to use this this new set of tyres to get ahead of Amon Lal, and look at that, what he's down to now. I mentioned this at the very early stage of this race. We're now not even not even a third of the way through this race, but he's used nearly half of his push to pass. He's really got to be careful with this for the remainder of the race, because he can have nothing to defend with.
And you mentioned someone's using a lot of push to pass. Langman right there to the inside, the Meyer shank. And he goes long in the braking zone. He's going to give the position back to Eli.
I mean, if you're going to use your push to pass, then there is justifications for using that much in this early stage of the race, but you've got to actually make use of it when you use it, and that is not how to do it. He brakes far too late for turn one and goes straight on as Patrick Skilvasi now comes into pit lane. The top three still on the red stripe tyres, but that won't last for too much longer.
By on pit road right now. Remember, again, there's push to pass that you can use and not reclaim, and then there's a hybrid push to pass, which you can reclaim, but you only have very short bursts of it. So kind of for the first time in a while that we've actually had here in just doing IndyCar racing here on the service, is used to be when you're out of push to pass, you were out of push to pass. Now at least you have a little bit from the hybrid that you can use, but it's not the same.
Yeah, oh dear, this is all sorts happening here between John Christensen and Umit Yassi towards turn one in this battle for 10th position.
In the braking zone, and I think Christensen just kind of saw him getting hot on the inside and just let him have it, let him on by.
Yeah, very possibly. I mean, Yatsi's just out of the pit lane. Christensen not. There's so many different strategies happening at the moment, not least among those who haven't stopped at all yet and maybe are going for a two-stop, and those who have already been out for more than 10 laps, like Altena, who's just 3.5 seconds behind this battle between Chris Rise and Roden Eftink.
Is in, so he is pitting at lap 20, so coming to 21. So that's going to put him in that two-stop window. If anyone can get to 22, they're solidly in the two-stop window.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the lap you're aiming for. And maybe it explains why Lal and O'Sullivan were so looking unimpressive. It turns out it wasn't unimpressiveness, it was fuel saving, and that's absolutely fair enough. Surprising, given what Altena said earlier on, though, that the two stops are fastest and so little amount of drivers have actually gone for it. Maybe that's because the others are just kind of getting rid of the red stripe tyres, and the others are going to now go longer on those primaries, but that seems unlikely to me. I think we may be only getting 2 or 3 two-stoppers here today.
I mean, sometimes the best strategy to get a win is to do what the other guys aren't doing. So that's what Law and O'Sullivan are doing now. Is it in the long run going to get them the win? We still don't know. We still have another 40-plus laps to go here. So there's still a lot left to play for these strategies to unfold. But we expect to see our leaders come in any time now. If you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Season 2 of the Global IndyCar Challenge Championship, coming to you from Fuji Speedway. We've now completed 21 of 65 scheduled laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on the Velocity Online Racing channel this Saturday, round 3 of Season 15 of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel as Rise goes around.
We'll have another look at what happened. It's in that final sector again where there's been so much trouble so far tonight.
New
bit
tires.
Wide through turn 10 through the grass. That's not unexpected. But there you go. Wide over those curbs and going for a spin.
He might have had a little bit of help there. It looked awfully close. Awfully close.
I think there was only contact after the spin, to be honest. That looks like
close,
he's on his own to me. I mean, they're the worst curbs in iRacing, as far as I can see. They're absolutely terrible, and they should get rid of them. But
they are really attacking the curves here. I've only done one other IndyCar race here on the iRacing service on a broadcast stream, and that was for the Formula Indy series. And I think they use the same configuration. I just don't really remember the drivers attacking the curves in the FIS as they are here. Now the FIS is more of an American base. Like, is the attacking the curves on a road course more of a European style of racing?
It very much depends what car you're in, really. In these, no, because
right.
they can't take it. But if you're in, sports cars, GT3 racing a lot around here, you see a little bit more. Prototypes won't. They race around here, but they won't attack those curves. Really, it's sort of sports car and maybe even slower type racing like that, touring car racing, where you might see curves like that attacked. But I mean, those curves there are so unusual. The ones that are perpendicular to the racetrack, really, really unusual, and they're very, very dangerous, to be honest. So they should probably get rid of them. But they are there to enforce the track limits, and that's and they're going to be staying there. So everyone has to deal with them.
Liam O'Sullivan hits pit road hot, and so far that there's like a little chicane before you kind of come into the pits, little left-right combination, and he got right up next to the Armco. Kept it off it, but got up right up next to it, so maximizing that pit in time. He's on pit road right now. A painfully slow pit road speed limit of 35 miles per hour, and we're going to watch the replay of him coming in. He does really close to the Armco, probably a little bit closer than he wanted to.
Yeah, I think you're better off braking there a tiny bit earlier, missing out on a couple of attempts, half a second, than you are taking the risk of that 40-second time penalty for speeding. Lal and O'Sullivan have their pit stops, and they are a little bit longer than the rest. O'Sullivan, interestingly, going for another red striped stint though, and that's a surprise to me. I would have expected him to go on the primaries there, because he did seem to be running out of tyres towards the end, as he would be doing at the end of 22 laps. But his rivals Lal and Skilvazzi have both gone for the primaries, and I think those are the better calls. And of course, they both start over 6 seconds in front of the championship leader.
It's possible. We don't know the full story, that he might have unchecked or had the box checked to put on the alternates, and might have made it. He might have supposed to be unchecked. We've seen that happen before. When drivers, especially if they don't have a spotter or a data manager kind of watching their box, getting into the black boxes, you don't really have a lot of time. Now, you have a lot of time on the front straight here to do the black box, but that's about it. And trying to get in there and check a little checkbox to say, don't put on the reds, put on the reds, could be difficult. And maybe that was just, it was checked by default and he didn't get a chance to check it. We don't know. We'll find out if he did that by choice or by accident. But Roden Eftig is going to pick up the lead through this stint of pit stops. He came in as a leader, and as the cycle goes through, he resumes the lead. But Julien Altena with that very early stop, and now P2 in the order.
Yeah, he has to be, really, because he's going to make so many extra pit stops compared to the rest. He's been 16 laps out there already on these primary tyres. You'd expect him to be going about 20, I suppose, if he had 57 remaining at the end of that last stop. Then he has to be going 19 laps, for the remaining 3 stints of this race. He's got the red stripes out the way. He's getting the primaries out the way now, and I'd imagine he's going to stay on them to the end of the race. But expect him to be coming in just 3 laps' time, I would think, as he continues his rather unusual 3-stop strategy.
Could pay off. Again, do the strategy that no one else is doing. That might get you some results. Just behind Julien, we see him on Lal. He is in third. Further down the straightaway there, and not too far behind Lal is Patrick Silvazzi. So watch Julien now going into turn 1. Actually, Julien, going through turn 2. Now we go back to that battle with Lal and Silvazzi.
Yeah, imagine these two will be working together throughout this stint rather than fighting with one another. But, you know, it's hard to say. Are these two the race leaders, or is it Efting? Is it Altena, maybe? You know, it's very hard to tell who's actually leading this race right now.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The top three on entirely different strategies. Julien pitted at lap 8 in P2, Efting in lap 12, Lal at lap 23, and Sovazi at lap 19. So really the top four completely different strategies in terms of the laps they came in on.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what makes this race, as you say, so fascinating. This sort of IndyCar racing, this style of racing, so fascinating as well. Two different tyre compounds, push to pass is a little sideshow, but also the on-track racing as well. Glad to say that there are 17 of the 18 that started this race still in the race as well. So we did have a lower starting number. It's good that so many have retained in the race, even despite some of the real problems we've seen further down. I mean, Nicolas Charpentier is 7 laps down, but still going.
Sovazi taking a stab at the inside, going in the one on Lal, shows the nose, presents the car. They're going to drag race off the corner, side by side through 1, now 2, coming down to 3, and through that fast kink into a braking zone. Lal kind of slides out in front of him. A lot of runoff area there. And Sovazi slots back into position. So that drag race is over for the time being. Well, not say that, not so fast, my friend, as Sovazi decides to full send it to the inside there.
Now, this is pretty unhelpful, really, for these two. I think they, well, I presume they would work together, but turns out that's not such an obvious thing to say to these two. I think they should absolutely be working together here to try and distance Liam O'Sullivan. They realise that these are two of only 3 drivers who realistically could win this race and are on this strategy. I think they should work it together to make it just a fight between the two of them and distance O'Sullivan and make sure the other strategies don't win as well. But the more they fight, the more invited to win this race go the other strategies.
Is your Clegg, I told you to watch him. Unfortunately, he had a bit of a rough opening to his race, just went purple. But you're right. With Sovazi and Lal, you would think that they may want to work together, but there's also the old adage C-car attack.
Well, yes. It's hard to say that to a racing driver, isn't it? Don't attack the driver in front of you, because that's all they want to do. But, you know, I think it is worth driving with your head at this stage in the race, metaphorically. And that would just make sure that it is these two fighting for the race win.
The rule set for today's race. This is an open setup race. Each one of these drivers have worked on their qualification race setups. They've massaged these cars. This is not a fixed setup race. Each one of these cars have a slightly different setup on them. And we're 100% fuel. 5 sets of tires, 1 in the car to start the race, and then 4 in the pits. You must start on your qualifying compound, which we did see, and then at some point you must switch compounds during the race. We had a couple of people had to start from the back of the pack, although I don't think there anybody in today's lineup. I think anybody with the penalties carrying over from Charlotte are not in today's race. But again, 8 different winners over 2 seasons here in the Global IndyCar Challenge. The last first-time winner was Liam O'Sullivan at Charlotte. Watching, now we'll go back to this battle here with Lal and Sovazi, as this is going to be a battle for second going into turn 1, and Sovazi's going to clear him, at least on exit, but they're side by side.
Yeah, he's going to be cleared. Sovazi's going to get to the racing line again, and I think that was a sign there that Aaron Lal is much more, or wanting much more to run with Sovazi at this stage in the race than he is wanting to fight with him. That feeling, I don't think, is being returned at the moment by Sovazi, but Lal there, I think, was showing that if he's going to be fought with, he might as well be in second place at the moment.
There is a battle with Vogelzang and Langbin. And again, that's in the 1, and Vogelzang struggling now, although he's trying to get that position back. He is down 6 spots, now 5 spots as he gets the position back. Not sure what happened. There was a very long stop for Vogelsang, and we think he might have sped coming to pit road. That's the best we can figure out. I didn't see a black flag get presented or anything, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's really weird. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't, and that's our best guess right now, is that he just sped coming to pit road. So unfortunately, just a rough day, getting rougher now for Vogelsang, just trying to hold on. He is, because it's a road course race, you can stay on the lead lap here, and he's still on the lead lap, but he's got a big hole to dig himself out of, but at least he's in the top 10 at the moment. One of the guys that's currently in the top 5 in points. He's one of our points challengers coming into today's race. Right behind Liam O'Sullivan, your leader, Altena. We got Luis Nunez. Luis Nunez not in the lineup, so Vogelsang, he wants a good finish because he can get up in the 3rd in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a big chance for those who are just in behind Luis Nunez to get up into 3rd place in points. Ahmed Lal is another one of those who's got a chance too, but Vogelsang, as you say, Van Gastel did at the start of today, but no longer. And then further back than that, you get maybe a little bit too far away to really have a challenge of that. And Eli Sazak anyway will be focusing more on the rookie standings. But yeah, there's a big chance for Vogelsang and Lal, I think, today to move up into the top 3 in the point standings.
Got some contact on the racetrack as Rise coming to pit road. And it is Rise. Not sure when he got it. Just a lazy spin. And unrelated incidents on the racetrack between Fiolis and Rise. So little synchronized spinning. It's not an Olympic sport, but it sure looked good out there on the racetrack. 2 guys spinning at the same time on the race course, but no contact and not related.
That's unusual, isn't it, when you see 2 drivers going around like that, but they turn out to be completely separate, but there you go. They should get away without any damage there, which is the main thing. As we go back to Skilvasi and Lal, who have now extended their lead over O'Sullivan, by the way, to 8 seconds. I really think he made an error by putting those red striped tyres on there.
Yeah, he is, let's take a look at his stint length. Liam is at 7 laps, so the good of those red sidewall tires is gone. It's spent. It's going to start falling off, and these guys that are on in front of him, that are on these prime black sidewall tires, they're going to start slowly pulling away over the course of the next 7 to 10 laps before they come in for the next pit stop.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as we are going to get new leaders here, Skilvasi and Lal at the front of the field. Eftink now pitting in with, 35 laps to go. So another couple of stints, at a similar length are required. Altena, by the way, nearly 30 seconds behind these 2. That is all time to be made up on the racetrack, as far as I can see, because they've all got 1 stop remaining. Eftink is going to be just under 25 seconds behind them. It's big disadvantages that they've got to overhaul here to actually get on terms with these 2.
Julien just stopped for his 2nd stop 3 laps ago. He went 20 laps versus 8 laps we did on his first stint, but he did 20 laps on this next stint. So you mentioned that when he would be looking at a couple more stops of about 19 to 20 laps. So he's on that schedule that you were talking about. He's on that plan that you had envisioned. So Julien on the march. We're watching Lal now in car, working the steering wheel there. He's in the draft, not on the push to pass. You can tell he's not on at least the push to pass button, because you don't see any green blinking lights on his wheel there. Running down the front stretch. He is in the draft with Silvazzi, so he's getting the benefit of the draft. Car coming off a pit road to do his inside. Braking zone, brings it in there. And the Fiola's right in front of him, trying to stay out of everyone's way. And now back to the battle at hand as Lal and Silvazzi are clear of Fiolas. This is Julien for position on Umit.
Yeah, he's got to make these passes pretty quickly because he can't afford to lose time in traffic. And there he goes down the inside into 7th position. There'll be a couple more of these to come, with, or at least one, with Christensen in the 44 to dispatch of pretty soon as well. These, you could argue, though, if everybody else is going for 2 stops and these for 3, that these, you could argue, are 4 position.
Yeah, I'm not sure, though, what the strategy with Christensen is in front of Julien, though they are both teammates. It's possible that if Julien gets up to Christensen might just yield the position. They might be on different, I'm pretty sure they are on different strategies. Christensen pitted at lap 13 last. Julien pitted on lap 28. So, again, big difference in lap when they pitted last. So, different strategies. So, Christensen might not battle that one too hard, but I'm pretty sure if Julien gets up to F-Tink, that's going to be a battle.
Yeah, it should be. That will be maybe for later, but we'll wait and see what happens if they indeed get together at some point in this race. Gilvazzi and Lala fell into a bit of agreement here as we pretty much reach halfway. I think if these two run like this for a while, they could be in luck as Christensen comes into pit lane. Maybe it's not for position, and they were always going to stop 3 times anyway, but Altena won't mind. He now goes through and he's got a bit of clean air.
Still a new leader here after the pit stop cycle of other cars on different strategies. That now moves Patrick Savazzi. I said, watch this guy. He has pretty good pace on the road courses. Has multiple wins on road courses, I believe, in the VOR Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. And he is now your leader. Amon Law's second. And again, we talked about Law. He's kind of looks to us that he's on his an independent strategy on his own. But both these drivers gambling a little bit different up front, rolling the dice here at the base of Mount Fuji.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an iconic racetrack, as you've mentioned already, but very seldom do we run this circuit without that chicane through turn 10, which I must say I've been very much enjoying so far. I think it keeps the flow of this circuit a little bit nicer. I know that people complain often about the final sector, and I think a lot of that complaint actually stems from that turn 10, 11, 12 section that we've completely gotten rid of on this venue, and it helps this circuit to flow very, very nicely over the course of just a minute 21, shorter than you imagine this circuit.
They're moving at a pretty good clip around this place. Remember originally when they built this track in mind, they wanted to make it a big super speedway oval. They wanted to court not just IndyCar, but NASCAR too. And then money, plans, government, everything involved kind of changes things, and it later turned into a road course. If you're a child of the 80s like me, you probably popped the quarter into pole position, the game pole position. This was a track you raced on pole position, made by Atari, and actually licensed in America by Atari, but made by Namco, which was one of the very early original open wheel racing games you could play back in the day. And one of the racetracks you could run was this. The other one, when pole position 2 came out, you could race 2 racetracks. Multiple racetracks, one of which was Suzuka. The other one was a track very much resembling Indianapolis. But yeah, that's why I said that this is one of the most raced on sim courses over history, because going back into some of the original sim racing games, or just racing games in general back in the 80s, this was one of those tracks that everybody raced on just because it was the only track available in pole position.
Yeah, I must say I don't remember racing it too often actually in racing games when I was growing up too much. I mean, it's not been in iRacing for very long, has it? Maybe a few years.
Yeah,
maybe less. And
it is a newer track. It is a newer track.
Yeah, if you're going to add a Japanese sort of circuit into a game, often the developers of various games down the years have reached for Suzuka in the last 10 years or so, the last 15 years maybe, But yeah, it's good that it's been in our racing now. To be honest, I'm not sure this is a controversial opinion. I actually like this circuit more than Suzuka. So there you go. It's,
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get some pelters for that. But it's just wider, better overtaking chances, less difficult for poor drivers like me, and that's what you want.
Watching this battle up front, Patrick Savazzi, 2 wins for Patrick Savazzi in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. He's going to take a shot to the inside of the lap traffic. That is Charpentier. No, actually Deck, excuse me, that is Deck.
Deck is still recovering well, actually. 10th place for car 83 after the incidents of, we believe, a pit lane start to begin this race as Gavin Gardner comes into pit lane. Very interesting to see who wins in the rookie class here today, because Sasek is, I think, in danger of losing that points lead. That points lead, of course, very slender advantage of just one singular point.
Silvazzi with wins at the Indianapolis Road Course and at Watkins Glen. So not any oval wins in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, so very much a road course ace. And putting it on display right now as Amon Lal right behind him, and then Liam O'Sullivan in a distant third.
Yeah, I think, again, O'Sullivan has made the wrong call with tyres in this latest part of the race. Red stripe tyres have only increased his gap to Silvazzi and Lal, who, to be fair, are working together well. But even so, the gap has grown quite substantially to 10 seconds.
Silvazzi last stopped on lap 19. He is 18 laps into his current stint. He went 18 laps on his last stint. So we expect to see him come to pit road anytime. Amon Lal pitted on last on lap 23. He's at lap 22 of his stint. We expect to see him come to pit road. Excuse me, he's maybe I'm saying this wrong. Silvazzi, lap 19, currently 18 laps into his current stint. That's right. Pitted last on 18 laps in stint 1. Amon Lal's stint 1 went 22 laps. He's at 14 on his current, and he pitted on lap 23 last. There we go. Get it all out, Gary. Trying to straighten it up for everybody. Probably make it as clear as mud right now. But in other words, pit stops are pending.
Well, I mean, it's complicated, isn't it? It's complicated. So there's a lot to explain at the moment. I think that last graphic we saw there, though, push to pass, is very, very telling. When these two actually have to fight at the end here, Silvazzi and Lal, I think it's going to be one-way traffic for Amon Lal to get through, because he's got more than double of the push to pass of his rival. Looking down the inside, it may be happening already here.
So Silvazzi coming to pit road, and I'm wondering, did he burp on the fuel possibly? I don't know. It looks like he's under power. So we'll see. I don't know if he just really expected Lal to be there. I don't know. It looks just weird. How quickly he did it. It just looked very weird.
That did look very weird. Let's see actually what happened here, and actually listen to this. Almost like he sort of left the pit limiter on or something. Goes a bit wide, down to first gear. I mean, no obvious signs there, really.
So he's coming to pit road. A lot of traffic in the neighborhood there, so that might have spooked him a little bit. And again, we talked about this at the start when we went 3 wide with F-Tink at the starting from the pole and leading going into 1, but all of a sudden 2 more cars appear to your inside. Discretion is the better part of valor. He decided just to lift a little bit, let everyone on by to give himself room to make it to pit road. And if there's one driver that I've seen get impacted by netcode an awful lot through his history in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, it is this guy. So maybe he was just trying to give a little bit more of a safety buffer so he could get on the pit road a little bit easier, but at the sacrifice of maybe some time coming out of the pits. But he is done. And he should have another stop in front of him, I believe, before getting to the end. We're only at lap 39 of coming to 40. He could be right at the very edge of maybe not making it on another stop. I'm trying to do the math in my head, and if possible, he doesn't need to stop after this.
It's going to be very different to what I was expecting, I must say, for Patrick Silvazzi after that stop. I thought he would definitely be going to the end of the race with just one more stop, but with that latest stop there, he's maybe showing that won't be the case. He's nearly 19 seconds behind Altena and F-Tink, and if that's a legitimate gap there and they're all stopping once more, then That's a very big disadvantage for Silvassi to try and get back over. I think Ahmed Lal again is really controlling this race excellently at the moment. Liam O'Sullivan in danger of getting swept up from Efting and Altena behind. This looks like Ahmed Lal could have a very sizable win advantage if this current showing is going to carry on.
If we if Lal wins and he holds on to his position, we will go 4 for 4 this season to start this season with 4 races and 4 different winners. And if we go back into last season, in the middle of the season there, we had Julien, Johan Royer, and Matthias Strauss win the last 3 races there. We could actually go, they finished the season 3 for 3 there, 3 races, 3 different winners. We started the season with 3 races, 3 different winners, so we're 6 for 6 now. We could go 4 for 4 to start the season and 7 for 7 in the last 7 races if Lal can hold on. If O'Sullivan wins, he will break the streak. If Efting wins, we'll continue the streak. If Julien wins, we'll continue the streak for just this year.
Yeah. It's hopefully going to be continuing for as long as we can get it. I mean, it's very impressive to have 6 in 6, to be fair. So I'll be impressed if we can manage it again. That's close in towards turn 10, and on the outside line, Vogelzang not able to get past Toby Deck, who again is holding on well. Very late on into a stint here is Deck, and Vogelzang really needs to try and get through, but will be a lot heavier at the moment with fuel.
Ewan, the record that, as I know it, for the most winners to start the season, different winners to start the season in IndyCar racing history, happened twice in the same year. It happened in the Indy Racing League and kart at the same time. They started each league started their season 7 for 7. Now, if they had a combined schedule, as Vogelzang gets on by Deck there for position, so move Vogelzang back up to the top 10. If they had a combined schedule, Juan Montoya would have broken that streak in 2000 because he would have won at Indianapolis and then won the next week at Milwaukee. So because of the splits, we have 2 7-race stretches in IndyCar history that happened in the same calendar year because of the IndyCar split.
Well, I mean, it's an unusual time, isn't it? That period of time. To have such it's quite a niche sport, really, isn't it? To have it split into 2. It's a good idea. It's good that it's not a thing anymore, but it's amazing.
Sure.
I'm sure that won't be the only thing that's sort of been a record that's prevented or record created by the fact that it was all split apart for such a long time. It's makes the record books very unusual.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, you see certain drivers that will have championships but no road course wins, and then you have drivers that have championships but like no Indy 500 wins. Let's take a look at Sam Hornish. He won multiple championships but never won on a road course. Then you have someone like Sebastian Bourdais, multiple championships but never won in Indianapolis, and the main reason because of that is because he was mainly in kart. And Sam Hornish was mainly in the Indy Racing League. Some weird things like that you see drivers over that period of time. And we're actually kind of coming up on the 20th anniversary of reunification. Hard to believe we're not too far away from that. 18 years ago they reunified back in 2008. So we are currently working lap 42 of 65. And watching this battle with Julien as we ride in car with him right behind Roden Efting.
He's caught up now. He's caught up to Efting, and they're both on the same tyre compound. They're both on the same strategy, I feel. So this is important, although Altena's just lost a 10th or 2 there with that slide coming out of turn 6 and 7. That was very, very costly, and that is going to drop him down to nearly a second back, where he has been languishing for quite a while.
Scott Christensen in chat says, prepare to qualify. That's exactly what when you popped your quarter in to play pole position, you would hear a very bad digitized voice say, prepare to qualify. And that was your qualification lap when you raced on pole position.
Prepare to qualify.
This is all too... This is all too. I'm not sure what year this was, but I feel like this might be.
This is in the 80s. This is well before you, Ewan.
Okay,
This is in my youth. This is going to. I'll just tell you how old this is. This is going back to the skating rinks where we have roller skating parties in school, and the skating rinks would you don't get out there and skate with 80s music and everything, and they always have a bunch of coin-op games, a whole arcade system. And so when you wanted to take a break from skating, you go play the video games. And Pole Position was there, and Spy Hunter, and watching this battle for P3. So yeah, just a lot of history, a lot of reminiscent there. But Pole Position was a major part of my youth playing that game. Popped so many quarters into that thing. Here's a battle between F-Tink and Julien. Julien just going to send it to the inside here, going into one. Works up into the draft, sends it to the inside.
Yeah, easily done. I mean, but the problem is, if we're seeing this as the sort of the unimportant gap, we're seeing the important gap up to Aman Lal, then these two are actually losing time. They're now 23 seconds behind Aman Lal at the front of the field. Now, maybe they're just trying to secure second and third for themselves, these two, but they're getting further and further away from the race win.
Black flag for Charpentier. We're seeing might have reached incident limits. Frustration levels are getting high with about 20 laps left in this race. Yep, and he just kind of scoots out, and now he has to visit pit road for a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. Vogelsang still stuck in traffic. Toby Deck has been dispatched with, but now Yaxi just up in front here. These two stopped very close by one another. So you could say they're on the same strategy. And Vogelsang, unfortunately, hasn't had a very good middle part of this race, really. He was running around the top 5 earlier. Now, I think legitimately down in 9th.
They're like jumping and popping that curve in 10, man. It looks like they're getting ready to go airborne.
Oh, yeah, some of them are, unfortunately. When they land back again, they spin around. It's much better to just avoid those curves on the outside entirely.
Just because they have wings doesn't mean they can fly. Here comes Vogelsang to the inside. This is 4/8 down the front straight going into turn 1. Vogelsang clears, cuts across the nose of Yamat, and gets the position.
Yeah, so nicely done. He's got to do this quickly, Vogelsang, if he wants to challenge Lal for what will be 3rd place in the championship by the end of tonight. Lal starts 18 rather point. No, right the first time. 16 points behind Vogelsang at the start of the day, and so they're not going to be fighting for the championship. That's a 2-horse race, but they'll be there or thereabouts with one another at the end of today.
Lal on pit road. This should be his final stop. Also on pit road, Liam O'Sullivan, final stop.
Yep, that's exactly where you'd expect it to be. 21 laps remaining. O'Sullivan's got to use the primaries here. As I said before, I think he should have used the primaries on that previous stint. He just continued to lose time to Lal anyway.
It was a gamble, either a gamble or it just didn't get unchecked in the black box. And we've seen it both happen before with drivers in iRacing. It's just really hard to manage. You're so occupied in these cars, and regardless if it's a fixed or open setup race, you got push to pass. You have hybrid, regen hybrid, braking, brake bias, engine mapping, roll bars, everything that you're doing. And one more thing is to get in the black box and then check a little box to say alternate compound. So it's possible that something happened there on the black box we don't know, and he just kind of had to roll with it.
Yeah, maybe. That might be the case. As you mentioned earlier, there is quite a sizable amount of time on the front straight that you actually have to change your black box here at this venue. So that would be a little bit why have you made that mistake around here? Especially, there are certainly other places in the world where it might be a little bit more difficult to keep an eye on that. Well, maybe it was just strategy that he's maybe regretting at this stage. Or he might well be saying, well, I was never going to get past Lal anyway, because he is so far out the front of the field at the moment. Over 15 seconds in front of O'Sullivan right now.
O'Sullivan sliding to the inside. Contact between the car. That was Deck. He makes contact with Deck going through turn 1. And I'm surprised how much Deck was battling O'Sullivan there. Did he know that P5 was in the neighborhood, or did he think it was a battle for position, or what? Normally you would think the lap cars would give a little extra room. We're going to watch again here. To be honest, I don't think Deck maybe. I'm not sure if Deck really expected O'Sullivan to be there, and O'Sullivan saw the opportunity and maybe go for it. Again, just speculation. We really don't know. What do you think?
I mean, to be fair to Deck, O'Sullivan is a mile back coming into turn 1, and he has not made the apex there at all. So I think that's perfectly reasonable for Toby Deck not to have been expecting him to be going down the inside there, and certainly not to, or he is allowed to expect a bit of room on the exit there, but O'Sullivan didn't give him either. And I don't think he's got any case to answer there, Toby Deck. I know he's the driver who's a lap down, but that doesn't mean the driver on the lead lap can bomb down the inside quite so aggressively and miss the apex, nearly miss the corner. I don't think Deck has done anything wrong there at all.
And there's only so many places, and you talked about how you like this racetrack because it's nice and wide and everything. Despite how being nice and wide and long, and you got these straightaways and everything, in some places when you're caught, you really don't have a choice of where to hide. They put your car to get out of everyone's way. It just, the racetrack just narrows up there with the racing line and everything. And again, one of those points was reached right there in turn 1.
Yeah, and that is, one of the things around this circuit really. When you look at the timing at the moment, 9 cars on the lead lap of still 15 in this race, still circulating. You realise that actually there's quite a lot of drivers a lap down. There's going to be quite a lot of lapping going on for the remainder of this race for the leaders. It's all part of the race. You've got to manage it as the race leader. Julien Altena comes into pit lane for the final time today as well.
Yeah, this is us last scheduled stop for one of our points challengers. Watching Sasic with a meatball. He has done a toe. We will see what happened here with Eli.
It's a long way off the racetrack. But it's one of those corners that if you lose the rear end, you try and overcorrect, then you find yourself in the barrier. But very unusual you actually find the barrier for that. It might be cold tyres based on the way he's weaving there in towards turn 3. Now he's coming through the long right-hander.
He was on an outlap. I believe.
Yeah,
and that is a snap loose. That is a danger snap.
That is, well, I don't see meatball on my screen, I must say, but he does have a lot of damage. Okay, he must have cleared the meatball already, but it doesn't really matter whether he's got a meatball or not. He couldn't have driven that car anyway.
Day done. $18 to go here at Fuji. Leader is Roden F-Tink. F-Tink will have to come to pit road, maybe. We'll see. He is now 18 laps under his current stint. Yeah, he's going to have to come to pit road. He did 19 under his last stint, so pending a pit stop for him. Amon Lal just pitted at lap 45, 3 laps under his current stint. He should be good to go to the end. And right behind him, Patrick Solvazi pitted lap 38. He's 11 laps into his current stint. He might have to stop one more time, but we'll see. We got different strategies up at the front. Liam O'Sullivan just stopped not too long ago, and Julien Altena on his outlap right now. He just stopped. So pretty much every single one of the drivers in the top 5, with the exception of Lal and Liam O'Sullivan, are on a mostly different strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, one of the fascinating things about this race. The different ways people have tried to go about it. I think it's interesting that Julien told us the 2-stop strategy was fastest and then went on to do a 3-stop himself, which is a little bit unusual. But it's very much been followed, really, the 3-stop strategy, by pretty much everybody. Only a couple of drivers going for a 2-stop. If Scalvasi is going still on 2-stop, I'll be very surprised because he's on the red stripe and he's already been out there for coming towards the end of 12 laps here. But Roden Ifchink comes into pit lane. That'll be the last stop for him, and Ahmad Lal is going to retake the race lead. I think lead the last 15 laps of this race uninterrupted.
Yeah, and you're right. This is probably going to be your pass for the lead and win right here in this race unless something happens. Salvazzi, I still think, needs to stop, so that's probably going to open the door now for Liam O'Sullivan to move up the second, which Julien does not want, because Julien is now behind Liam O'Sullivan, but he's directly in front of Liam is directly in front of Julien right now, but it's quite a distance that Julien needs to reel in, and that's exactly what Julien doesn't want, being 21 points behind Liam coming out of this race and losing even more ground with only 2 more rounds to go.
Absolutely, it's not long left at all. It's not a long season, to be fair, but now we're in the second half of the race especially. It is not very long to go at all. F-Tink gets out the pit lane, and Altena on not newer tyres, but warmer tyres will go straight through.
On the outside, he wanted to get that pass done. Now he can hope to try to reel in Liam. And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 4 of 6 of Season 2, the Global IndyCar Challenge Championship, coming to you from Fuji, where Aman Lal is now your leader. We have about 16 laps to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for the GIC will be Wednesday, February 4th, 2026 from improper Phoenix Raceway. Yes, if I sound bitter, I am. Coverage starts at 3 p.m. Eastern on the 21st, right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel, so don't miss it. Our last oval race of the GIC season.
It certainly is. And we'll be looking forward to seeing how it changes this sort of championship order, because those are the ones, those oval races where you can, I think, most be taken out by something that isn't necessarily in your control. And that I think is the last race for O'Sullivan and Altena, where they'll be thinking, let's just get through this and then see what happens for the remainder of the season on the road courses. As I mentioned before, I think Altena has to beat O'Sullivan today, and at the moment, I think he will do.
It is a short oval, for the only short oval on the schedule. So again, a little bit different. We've had Super Speedway at Indianapolis, the intermediate track at Charlotte, and a short oval are the 3 ovals, each one of the different classes of ovals. As Julien is really pushing this car, and he has reeled in Liam O'Sullivan. Like, really reeled in. Like, when we originally picked up this battle, it was a quarter straightaway lead for Liam O'Sullivan on the front straight. Now it is Julien on the button, so he is gambling now, and here comes Liam. He's going to go to the inside to try to break the draft. Doing a little bit of a snake down the front straight, goes defensive to the inside. Julien just kind of holds his line, which is actually what I would do there. Is the more weaving you do to kind of break the draft, the more scrubbing speed, and Julien creeps closer.
He's getting closer. A very, very important overtake coming up here, and I think he's somehow got to try and get F2 past as well, and just try and increase the points gain that could be had here. But look at the push to pass that O'Sullivan has remaining. Altena's been using it roughly in line with the amount of race we've got remaining. He's actually left a little bit more back. He's got more than a third remaining with less than a third of the race to go. So he's actually left a little bit back in the last part of this race, but O'Sullivan hasn't used any yet. He surely is about to drain it all, trying to keep his main championship rival behind him.
He is like a fighter pilot dogfighting out there with every single missile still on the rail. He has not used a single one. So he is going to be the most powerful racer here in the last part of this race. With hopefully, again, I'm going to say that here comes Julien. You might have a bunch of push to pass, but do you have the fuel to use it? So we shall see if he's got enough fuel in the tank to mash that button. And he's not using it yet. Here comes Julien. Is it possible that maybe Liam has not mapped the button? We have seen that happen before, and here goes to the inside defensive. Not even now he's on the button. So he has mapped a drag race side by side between the teammates, first and second in the points, going into turn 1. Oh, F-Tink almost gets to the back of Julien. Julien goes high to low, gets a better exit off the corner. Drag race down through 2, coming to 3.
Altena's on the outside, but even not using any push to pass there. O'Sullivan able to stay in front. He goes a bit deep there, though. Altena around the outside through the long right-hander, which might give him the inside for turn 6. Oh, he's off into the grass again. He's made a move out there before tonight, and he nearly had to do it again. He couldn't do it that occasion. He's still pushing O'Sullivan, though.
Let's not rule out Roden Eftink. He's involved in this battle. Here we go, side by side, coming down the 10. Oh, we got contact between Eftink and Julien in the back under the braking zone. There might have been even contact there. I didn't see anyone budge, but it got really close.
Yeah, I mean, it did get very, very close. Eftink wasn't expecting that, but I'm not entirely sure why. He could see it happening in front of him into turn 10. Altena on the button there, getting to the outside, but he knew that was never going to work, and Eftink just flies into the corner as if there's nobody in front of him.
But Julien gets on by. Julien gets on by as they go onto the main straight. Now Julien's trying to break the draft, and we're doing a bit of the dragon snake down the front straight.
Yeah, we'll see it again in a moment. What happened? This is on replay, just coming through the final corners, but I think what you mentioned earlier on about O'Sullivan having the push to pass, yes, but not the fuel, I think is absolutely correct. And in the end, it's a dive at the final corner from Altena. He just about leaves the room for O'Sullivan, who in the end doesn't have anything to answer with.
And he has lost 2 positions since losing the position to Julien, and he's now back to 4th, and Julien gets on by, and Eftink got on by. And the battle between Julien and Eftink is not over now. The battle with O'Sullivan might be done as he starts to fade a little bit.
Yeah, O'Sullivan fading quickly. That was very wide from Altena, isn't it? Into turn 1. This is still on replay, by the way, as we see what happened when Eftink got past O'Sullivan there. It wasn't too difficult. Eftink was rather handed that one. As you say, his battle, though, with Altena is now absolutely on. So interesting to see what happens there. The gap as well down to Aman Lal is down to less than 16 seconds. It would have to come down monumentally towards the end here, but last time Lal did a 24.2.
Position here again. Liam O'Sullivan gets back to Eftink. Eftink had a bad exit off one of the corners, and now they're going to come through 14 down the front straight. We're going to have a drag race here for the bottom step of the podium.
Yeah, we are, and on the push to pass, Eftink's out. Efting's out of push to pass, and so O'Sullivan now has got as good of an opportunity really as anybody, because Eftink has used the last of his push to pass in towards turn 1. Where are they going to get to here? Is O'Sullivan going to be able to get back past? No, he isn't.
So Eftink is Winchester on the push to pass, meaning every single second is gone. He does have access to the hybrid push to pass. We don't know when they deploy that, but he does have access to it. It's really only good for about 1.5 bursts, and then you have to recharge it. You have to regenerate. Julien in second now. He is now starting to pull away, and the key thing out of this, Ewan, is Julien now second in the points championship, second on the racetrack, and Liam O'Sullivan 4th on the racetrack, 1st in the standings. Julien, if he can finish here tonight in second spot, he's going to creep closer to Liam in the points championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to get a lot closer. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all goes on now for the remainder of this race, because Altena is gaining exactly as he needs to on O'Sullivan. As I mentioned, there's still one very unpredictable race to come at Phoenix in a couple of weeks' time. But if Altena can go sort of into that last race with sort of less than 10 points to make up on O'Sullivan, or whatever the gap may be, he'll feel pretty confident, and he absolutely needed this result tonight to ensure that.
Talk about that 16-second lead before. It is now 14 seconds between Lal and Altena. And Lal, again, he can manage the lead with a lead that big. As it got briefly down into the 13-second range, while they're in braking zones there. 10 laps to go. Julien would have to shave off a second or more a lap in order to be a player here at the end. So Lal has a lot of options up front as your leader. He doesn't necessarily have to push. He has a big margin and only 10 laps to go. Time running out, and Lal has not even touched the push to pass yet.
No, and again, I don't think he will do, because he'll be just a little bit concerned about the fuel. If it really gets down to it later, which I'm not imagining it will do, but if it does, then he will be, willing to use that push to pass, willing to run out of fuel to try and win this race. I think will be his mindset, as he definitely moves into the top 5 in the point standings tonight, maybe even up to 3rd place, depending on how the points and the results of others go, including for Vogelsang, who's side by side here with John Christensen for 7th place. They've just been lapped by Ahmad Lal. They're still fighting though, and Christensen gets back past Vogelsang.
our leader is lapped up to position 6. Gavin Gardner, last car on the lead lap. Good race for Gavin. Not only a good race in general, working his way up into the middle portion of the top 10, but this might move him ahead a little bit more in the, I forget who was the rookie points leader, but I think Gardner was like a point behind.
Yes, Gardner was 1 point behind Sazak. Sorry,
yeah, so that's going to move him ahead.
So, yeah, it will do. Silvassi, though, is there or thereabouts as well. So there's 3 to worry about there. As you said, Silvassi is a very good road course driver. You would wonder how he's going to go at Phoenix.
And we're watching Vogelzang and Christensen both on push to pass as they battle for 7th.
Yeah, looks pretty easy for Gardner, that one, even though Vogelzang's maintaining the push to pass. He does get through there. For Vogelzang on Christensen, rather. Gardner's using his push to pass very much on his own there, with a big gap in front and behind. But yeah, that was Vogelzang getting himself back up into 7th place.
Toby Deck, rookie down the front straight. Gonna get how long the straight is, the longest straightaways in pretty much all of iRacing, all of racing in general. And going into the braking zone in turn 1. And again, very fast race course. And you talked about how you like this race course, and not horribly technical. And it's also one of those race courses where you're on the power so much that it's really hard to pass here at times. There are some passing zones, but really it takes a mistake of the driver in front of you in most cases for you to be able to pull off a pass. It's a very challenging course in that aspect, but it's not a very technical course in terms of other courses that might be out there.
Yeah, there are some others that are more technical out there, that is for sure. The final sector, I think, is technical, though.
Yeah.
And we have seen mistakes through there. F-Tink definitely has made a mistake through there that time round as well, because O'Sullivan is back in past him again. O'Sullivan never really went away that far from F-Tink. And Julien Altena won't be too far away from these guys, although he's 3 seconds up in front. There is F-Tink running wide, and he must be serving a slowdown penalty. Or something along those lines for that sort of move to have been made.
Julian's got the lead down to now 11 seconds. We ride with F-Tink. That looked like go wide and let me by. I don't know. I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, it does look a bit like that, but why would he do that? It would be my only
not sure.
query.
Unless we got some sort of team orders going on out there to let the championship guys and the championship battle on by. At Roden in the standings, by the way, he is a little bit further down. He's in the 15th spot, so he's really not a player of the championship. So maybe that's possible. I don't know. Again, speculation on our part.
Yeah, definitely speculation, but it's what else can we do? What else can we do? There's no other clues, unfortunately.
Right? We got to make the time pass somehow.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, so we'll just guess on that one. It does look like O'Sullivan, though, maybe does have the speed to stay in front. The worry for Lal at the moment is that he might have not fuel saved enough for this stage in the race to be where he is at the moment. Let's see whether he is going to stay in front of Altena and everybody else here in the final 5 laps, which is about to start when he gets to the end of this one. He's on the fuel saving strategy at the 2-stop this time around, but is this enough at the moment? He's certainly losing time.
12 seconds now back to Julien. Pit information for these top 2 drivers. Lal stopped on 45 last. Lap 45. He's currently 15 laps into his current stint. 5 laps to go in this race. We're coming to 5 laps to go in this race. That would put him right around 21 laps on this stint. He did 22 on the last stint. He should be good to go mathematically. Should be good to go.
Let's see whether he actually is. As you say, it should be fine, but we've also got to worry about the time gap, which has come down quite dramatically to Altena in the last few seconds, but it does look like Lala's done enough here to hold on. We shouldn't see any nasty surprises for him at the end of this race.
There is Deck, and right with him on the racetrack. Oh, God, FT going wide. Vogelzang taking wide evasive action right in front of Alal, trying to get out of the way. A lot of action happening on the racetrack.
I think wide again.
He got right in there.
Wide again. Not sure what's happened to him, really. Epting was, more than quick enough to stay with Altena for sort of 85-90% of this race, but late on seems to be struggling to even stay on terms with Liam O'Sullivan at the moment, who's on a strategy that should see him going slower than Epting at this stage.
Aman Lal is about 4 laps away from getting his second win here in the series. We watch this battle, actually just a battle for track position, I believe.
Yeah, it is. Epting there got really, really sideways, though, just a couple of corners earlier through the right under a turn 13 that, very nearly sent him around. He caught it, though.
So I believe if Aman Lal wins today, he becomes the first driver, I could be wrong, first driver in the Global IndyCar Challenge history to win on a road course and on an oval. Aman Lal won in season 1 at Gateway.
I'll defer to your knowledge on that one, although I'm pretty sure maybe I did that Gateway race, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll defer to your knowledge on that, definitely, because
I'm just kind of going a very large sketch here. So, and it would also increase our season start season 4 for 4 and 7 for 7 for the last 7 races. So last 7 races, 7 different winners, and 4 for 4 to start this season. So that is Pressy is sideways in turns 12 and 13. Dangerous area, gets narrow through there.
Now 2 laps down in the field as a result of this spin. Not the first time we'd seen a driver spin through that left-hander there. It's you're very unweighted there on the rear as you're coming in, and as I say, not the first time we've seen a spin through that left-hander.
Aman Lal also has wins in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship from a season ago. So multi-talented, multi-time winner across the family of Velocity Online Racing Channel leagues. And he's looking to add to that resume now with a very comfortable lead that's stabilized right at 12 seconds over Julien. Julien's going to be liking this finish if he can hang on. He has a 3-second lead over O'Sullivan. This will creep Julien a little bit closer to the championship with 2 rounds to go. And Julien has won at Phoenix before. He likes that racetrack an awful lot. So maybe setting up a photo finish for the championship here at the end when we go to Interlagos here in a few weeks' time to wrap up the Season 2 championship. Got me to 2 to go at the line. Lal watching Julien Altena pilot his rig right around the corner here. Keeping everything between the lines. Right behind him, Liam O'Sullivan looking for another podium finish. Back up to Lal.
O'Sullivan might have realised that he's actually saved enough fuel to get to the end from here, because he did actually gain on Altena by 3 tenths last time round, another 10.5 this time round. So I think he's maybe realised that he can make it to the end from here, but it might be too little too late from him. I think Lal has realised the same as well, because he was only a tenth away from his personal best lap time last time round, which is pretty impressive if you're fuel saving. I would deduce that he isn't fuel saving anymore and he can make it to the end.
This is Clegg and Christensen. Oh!
Wow.
That was unexpected, and I'm going to let the stewards make a call on that one, but contact going into 1, and between Clegg and Christensen, 2 winners at the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship level. And Preci is towed to the pits as well with a black flag. So in the closing stages, drivers see the finish. Oh, and that was with F-Tink.
Wow.
That was with F-Tink. We got to go back and watch that again and see what's happening. But F-Tink is now running around wounded. He doesn't have the black flag. He's going to try to nurse his car home, but here's what happened. F-Tink.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's
oh my
clumsy
goodness.
from the driver behind that. That's very clumsy.
We'll let the race stewards make a call on that one, but F-Tink is going to nurse a very damaged car home. Maybe the 4th, but I don't think he's going to have time to hold on as Salvazzi now smells blood in the water, is going to try to run him down with a damaged race car. We're going to have a drag race here for 4th place, but not too far behind him on the racetrack is Amon Lal. Amon Lal now coming through turn 10. 4 more turns to go to get his 2nd win in the Global IndyCar Challenge Championship.
Tink's going to be overtaken very, very easily. There's no way he can hold on. There you go. Salvazzi straight through.
Salvazzi on by. So Lal has been kind of snake-bitten on some other courses, but today it's been smooth sailing. For the purple cars, he comes off the corner looking at the checkered flag, and your winner at Fuji, Amon Lal.
Yep, nicely done. And a great victory from Amon Lal, where he took the best strategy and executed it better than anybody else on his strategy. As far as his strategy is concerned, Liam O'Sullivan was closest, 16.5 seconds back. Julien Altena making the 3-stop work best of anybody to finish in 2nd.
Salvazzi, he is going to finish here in 4th. He comes off the final corner, and he hangs on for kind of a bonus position there at the end. He would have finished 5th, but F-Tink bringing a very damaged car home in 5th. But we're going to watch from Preci's point of view in the braking zone. Again, we don't know the full story, so we can't just say he full sent it in the back of him. We don't know if F-Tink had to back that corner up for some reason. Maybe had to save some fuel, had to back out of the throttle. Who knows? We'll let the stewards take on it, but he gets there quickly, and then before he knows it, I mean, you're moving a football field a second at top speed here in these Indy cars, and right into the back of him there. Contact, breaking the rear wing of F-Tink's car, and making a 4th place finish now, a 5th place finish. But your winner is Amon Lal. There he is on the cooldown lap. A very impressive win. Amon leading 38 laps today. Remember, results are unofficial when we show them to you. As he's heading to victory lane and coming in the pit road right now. Amon Lal, 2nd win in the Global IndyCar Challenge Series.
Not going to give us any celebrations either. Just gonna...
No, act like you've been there before. I like it. I like it. There used to be a football player that played American football here, Barry Sanders. I believe he at one point he was the all-time leading rusher in the league history. And whenever he scored a touchdown, never spiked it, just went in, handed the ball to the referee, and the reason why you didn't celebrate is that his rule was act like you've been there before. So Amon Lal acting like he's been here before, which he has. Your winner today over Julien Altena. Julien making a little bit of ground over his chief points rival, Liam O'Sullivan, who finished 3rd. That is 2nd and 3rd there in the final standings. He will creep a little bit closer in the championship standings. Liam O'Sullivan 3rd. Patrick Salvazzi, one of his best finishes of the season, in 4th. Roden F-Tink in 5th. After that incident going into turn 1, brings a very damaged and wounded car home for the top 5. Gavin Gardner looking to be your new rookie points leader going into Phoenix in a couple of weeks here. He finishes 6th. Milan Vogelsang, not with the greatest race that he wanted, but it might be enough for him to vault himself third in points. We shall see at the end of this race. He finishes 7th. John Christensen of 44 Nation comes home in 8th. Yachi in 9th, and Toby Deck with a bit of an adventuresome race in the second half for him. He comes home with a top 10. Moving on to the next page here is Fiolis at 11th, Pressy in 12th, Clegg with not sure if he had the mechanical early on that caused a tow, just not a good day for him. Comes home in 13th, Charpentier in 14th, Sissek in 15th, Rise 16th, Langbin in 17th, and Pim Van Gastel with a long afternoon in 18th with one of our admins here in the series. And again, keep in mind, unofficial results here. Round 4, Fuji. And we are done here on the road course. And one more road course to go here to wrap up the season is at Interlagos in round 6. And we do have our podium starting to gather in the waiting room. And we will bring in Aman Lau, your winner. Aman decided to go with the road less traveled today, and that was a 2-stop strategy with the win. Congratulations. Tell us why you decided on the 2-stop, and how did you make it work?
Yeah, thanks. Well, we were discussing before the race whether we would do a 2 or 3-stop, and me and Liam were quite adamant that a 2-stop is the way to go. You just save so much time, especially with how long this pit lane is. And yeah, it was quite clear. I thought Julien would be a bit further away than he was, but on his 3-stop. But yeah, happy to bring him a win. It's been a while since I won a race in this league, so yeah, happy with the result.
Yeah, and it's, I believe you become the first driver in the series history to win on an oval and a road course. But a very interesting start there. You had Eftink starting from the pole. You started up right next to him, but at the green flag, you guys are 3 wide going into turn 1. And on the outside of it, at the exit of turn 1, Eftink decided that he would probably, discretion was the better part of valor, and he kind of faded to the back, and you became kind of the leader there. But you saw an opportunity there in the very early stages, got the lead, and then at one point, it looks like Eftink reached you again, and you might have let Eftink come by. Was that a planned pass for that? Eftink was just on a different schedule, you were on a different schedule, and you just like, go on by, I'm going to do my thing?
Yeah, I mean, for turn 1, naturally, everyone just wants to get ahead, so we were like pretty much racing each other into that corner. But then I knew Roden was not doing a 2-stop and he was on the 3, so there was a point where he caught up, so I just let him go and I sat behind for the rest of the stint. Saved as much fuel as I could, and that essentially helped me quite a lot later on in the race with the gap that I had.
Well, mission accomplished. We start the season now 4 for 4 with 4 different races, 4 different winners. Aman Lal wins here at Fuji. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone I want to say hi to for getting your second win here in the Global IndyCar Challenge Series?
Yeah, great job from the team again. We've, produced a really good setup once again in this open setup race. So yeah, just thanks to the team. We've been working quite well together recently, so it's nice to get some good results as well together. I think we would have had a top 4 with lockout with the team, but I think Roden got caught in an unfortunate incident at the end as well. So, overall the team is doing quite well right now. So just got to keep it going.
Congratulations on the win. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when we return to the last oval at Phoenix.
Thanks, see you guys.
And we will move him out of the channel, and we will bring down Julien Altena. And to speak with him is Ewan.
Julien, welcome in. Congrats on second place tonight. How did you approach tonight in terms of your strategy? Because you were pretty much the first of the overall contenders to come into the pit lane, or the first of those who were at the front. Anyway, why did you decide to do that? And was it pre-planned?
Yeah, I wanted to do the 3-stop because I hate saving fuel. I said it at Nürburgring, and that race was a bit of a different case because it was much harder to overtake. Fuji was easier, but I got passed by 2 cars and I didn't want to defend too hard and burn up the tires because I needed them for the 5, 6, 7 laps that I did. I originally wanted to pit on lap 5, but then I decided, you know what, I'll give myself a bit of a cushion and go 2 laps longer to make the next 2 stints a lap shorter, just in case I needed the fuel for push to pass. So yeah, then I had to pass 2 cars, of course, as well. Milan got by me and Patrick as well, on the reds before I pitted, by the way. And then after that, I just had to get my head down. I was miscalculating the pit entry a little bit. I fell behind the car. Really, I shouldn't have been behind, which cost me a bit of time, unfortunately. But was able to get by him pretty quick. I'm not sure why he tried to challenge the position to the inside of turn 8, I think it is, and then let me by 2 corners later. Makes no sense, but thanks, I guess, for letting me by in the end. Um, and yeah, from there on, it was just about pushing as hard as I could, make up the time that I needed to make up with the extra stop. And yeah, Rodin's concentration fell off. He told me before I jumped in here, which is how I got by him originally. Like he was 5 seconds up the road as well after the first stop. So that's how I got him. And then at the end, yeah, very spicy battle. I'm sure you guys saw it. It was pretty good. That was definitely a heart on your throat kind of moment, but we all made it through, and that's what matters.
Well, absolutely. How important was tonight in terms of the championship? You've gained just a little bit on Liam O'Sullivan. I'm sure you'd have liked to gain a little bit more, but the gap is now below 20 points. How important was it for you tonight to at least gain something rather than see that deficit get even bigger before the last 2 races?
Yeah, it's always important to make up points, right? I rather would have been in the front, but it doesn't work out that way all the time. Phoenix should be a good track, so hopefully I can claw back some more points there. Usually the team as a whole goes quite well there against the guys of IAR Rogue Racing. So hopefully we can match them. I don't know what they'll be bringing to Phoenix, but from the early running that we did do, I think the setup is going to be quite competitive. So hopefully I can beat Liam there as well. Was a very nice battle in the end. A bit over aggressive for my liking, but I gave him the cold shoulder back, so I guess we're even now. But yeah, just really happy to gain some points. Yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations on that in the second place tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
Yep, thank you guys as well.
Thanks so much. That's Julien Altena, second place tonight, gaining slightly on Liam O'Sullivan in the championship.
And here is Liam O'Sullivan joining us, finishing third. And I'm going to try to sugarcoat this in the best way possible. I know you're probably not happy. You did finish third. There's probably people that would love to swap spots with you and take this podium's position. But I guess the only good news to come out of this is you're leading the championship, at least going into the next round.
Yeah, that's a right way to put it, I think, Gary. I mean, I've got a nice 16-point lead. I've worked out, me and Julien, I think both have 33 points, which will be our lowest as a drop score at Indy. So when the drop comes in, it's going to be 16. He gains 5 on me today at my 21, so I make it 16, I think, on the maths going into Phoenix. So hopefully, if we run as expected at Phoenix, you'd imagine I should carry a slim lead into Phoenix. It depends if I beat him or not. We're still in a very good position, and it's just my good form at the start of this season. But I mean, I just first half of this race today, I just wasn't good enough. Just to the point. I mean, I threw 12 seconds away in the first stint. I just couldn't get any grip. I just couldn't get a vibe, couldn't get any sort of thing out the car, and was just struggling. I was aggressive into turn 1, and it made it work for me. I knew they were going to repass me, especially Rodin and Julien, with the way our strategy worked. But I mean, the way I look at it is, I mean, Aman showed what it is. You lose 40 seconds on pit lane, and we did 1 less pit stop, and I was 3 seconds off the back of Julien. I made a wrong mistake to stick with the reds just because I was happy with them when the blacks had a slight edge. And all of that, the 12 seconds, and I'd say another 5 seconds I threw away there, put me in a position, and I'm lucky to be third. I mean, Rodin really overcooked his tyres there. So I think third's a bit of an scapegoat and fluky result for me. I should have been a very safe 4th. So I think we're going to take it, run with it, and wait for Phoenix.
So the extra stint on the Reds was planned. We weren't sure about that. But talk about the start of the race, going 3 wide and the turn 1. Kind of a big gamble there, but racing your teammates, a little bit of trust with those other guys going 3 wide through turn 1 on lap 1 of a race.
Yeah, I know. I mean, those guys know what I'm like. If the door's open, especially, I mean, it's been a thing since we've gone to this restart rule. I think it's really benefited me, just my for some reason, my reaction compared to everyone else, it's just that little tenth that makes the difference. Like we've seen it. Me and Kyle just jumped him at Milwaukee, I think, on about 3 restarts, and it's the same on the road courses as well. It's been a really good way for me to just get early positions if say I qualify badly or whatever, and it put me in the best position going into turn 1. Obviously, we were going to lose them with the fuel strategy I did, which, I mean, Aman at least made me look like a genius for the strategy we were on. And I said, thank you for... Julien would have been telling me I'm wrong otherwise. But, no, I mean, he did the job today and showed why our philosophy and what I proposed in the Discord 2 hours before the start of the race was the right way to go. So, I mean, congrats to him. It means a lot, I know, for him to finally get a win, and he deserves it. He's been going for a while. He did well in Mexico as well. He had a really good battle. And, I mean, but it's the second road course in a row I've thrown or not maximised the result I should have got, which is frustrating, especially with the run of form I'm in. But we'll come back stronger in Phoenix, and we'll come back stronger in Gateway on Saturday.
That's a good segue to shout-outs, friends, families, and sponsors. Anyone want to say hi to before we let you go? I'm sure the parents are watching, aren't they?
Yeah, mum, dad, grandparents as always. They're loving it as always, stream-wise and everything. It's the best thing I do for just so people can watch all around the UK, especially my grandparents. And again, I can do more of it since it's not real life throwing money away. So it means a lot for that, and they get to see me more regularly, and I know they enjoy it. Obviously the team, I mean, it was a great team result again tonight. I know I'm on the shorter end of the stick, but that's down to me. I wasn't good enough today. But no, thanks to everyone at Alzheimer's Association. I know they've always supported for a while, and you guys as well. I mean, it means a lot, hand in hand as always, to make our car look nice and green at times. But no, Gateway up next in VOR. Strong championship position again there, and we've got even more of a lead on the likes of Julien, Carl and Jesper. So hopefully we continue that lead and strengthen both. I mean, the goal is to win both championships, VOR and GIC for me this year. It's what I expect. So anything short of that will be a disappointment for me, but it's just the way I think. So again, good team result, and can't wait to keep carrying on with this strong reign of results.
Well, congratulations on the P3 again. I know you. I've talked to you enough times that I know that you have a high level of expectation, and a P3 today just kind of wasn't going to quite cut it for you, and I can hear it in your voice. But again, surviving to live another day in the championship as a leader, going to another race. In the grand scheme of thing, just staying alive in that one might just be what the victory that you take out of this race actually was. So congratulations on the P3, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks when we get to Phoenix here next in the series. But we'll see you Saturday when we go to Gateway in the big cars.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good job as always.
That's Liam O'Sullivan. Ewan wraps up another race here in the GIC, second road course of the season. One more to go after this. We are now well into the second half. I don't think the points have been updated yet. I keep refreshing the page here. Yep, now they have. So let me go to the points tab, and let's review the points real quick. It's Liam now, 15 over Julien, and Aman Lal now up into third. So Vogelsang, we thought, was going to capitalize. But his bad race and a very good race by Lal, Vogelsang just kind of stays exactly where he was in fourth. Lal now goes up to third. Luis Nunez falls back to fifth. Right now, it looks like we might have we at least have a solid 3-car battle over the next 2 races. Mathematically, I think Milan is still involved in the battle here, but definitely 3 cars over the next 2 races, and then probably just 2, depending on what happens to Aman at the next race, going into the final race of the season. So really 3 players left to play here in 3 races, and now we got 2 more to go after this. Your thoughts as we leave Fuji at our championship leader, kind of hanging on here by not a thread, but not as big as a lead as they had when they were coming into this thing.
I think, yeah, we are down to a 2-horse race. I think once I saw that Nunez wasn't here today, I think that was clear to me. I think the credit, though, for his gains today has to go to Aman Lal. Even if Vogelsang finished in the top 5 where he was running inside the top, the top third of this race or so, that still wouldn't have been enough. Lal got enough points to jump over him anyway into third. So it's going to be a very interesting fight for third place in this championship as well. There's still only 1 point in the rookie standings with Gardner only 1 point in front of Silvassi. Sazak is now 12 points behind after coming in today with the points lead there by 1 point as well. So very interesting across the board. But yeah, it's O'Sullivan versus Altena for me. And 15 points is a very interesting, very small gap between the two heading into that final race of the season.
You just need to, make up half of it in one race, and then make up the other half in the other one, and all of a sudden you got a dead heat at the end of the final race of the season. Another thing that worth mentioning today, a really good day for Altena Autosport. Started locking out the first 2 rows. Probably, again, I think Liam said it, probably could have locked out the top 4 in this race as well. But things happened, and that didn't happen. But a really good day for Altena Autosport. Team Vor, as I call it, topping the top 3 positions on the podium. They apparently have got this open setup construction down pretty good here, at least against this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, next time out at Phoenix, it's going to be a little, I don't say more luck than judgment. I think that would be unfair. But I think it is very much going to be, a little bit of luck required. And how do you come out of that getting into the final race of the season? That is going to be the real key for the rest of this campaign, it looks like.
Well, that's it for today. Once again, your podium here from Fuji Speedway here at the base of beautiful Mount Fuji in Japan. Aman Lal with his second career win, but we do extend our streak of 4 races, 4 different winners, and 7 of our last 7 here in the series. So kind of matching a modern IndyCar record. Can we set a personal record or a league record coming up here? We will find out. There's a couple of the leagues that I broadcast that have got into 8-8 and 9-for-9 and 10-for-10. So it's always good to see the level of parity in these leagues, and there's a lot of parity here in the Global IndyCar Challenge. So our podium here at Aman Lal gets the win. Julien Altena comes home second, gets a little bit closer to Liam O'Sullivan here as our points leader going into the final 2 races of the season, starting up Phoenix here in a couple weeks. Liam O'Sullivan is hanging on, and he comes home in third. Join us again Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, when the season continues for round 5, the penultimate round of the Global IndyCar Challenge Series, as the teams and drivers head to, as I call it, improper Phoenix Raceway. Coverage will start approximately at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th. Again, that's 3:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember, as always, for the correct time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com. Just search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support us with the grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so to miss out on more Velocity's Online Racing's other iRacing coverage, including this Saturday. It's round 3 of season 15 of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You won't want to miss it. To learn more about Velocity Online Racing, visit velocityonlineracing.com. Like them on Facebook. You can also follow them on X. So, for Ewan O'Leary, the General, Howie Burrows on the control board, and everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Gotcha saying all happy Wednesday. And thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and its first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here on the 4th in Phoenix for the next race of the Global IndyCar Challenge Championship. We'll see.